So, it's now time for the IAME Cadets to have their first heat of the day. Their second one will be at around about 24 minutes past 1. As we go up the hill, and it looks like, I think, yes, we've had a rolling start. We've had actually a rolling start. No standing start. Now that's taken me by surprise, if I'm completely honest with you, in normal national competition. So, we've got the likes of Jack Sant, Oakley-Keatley returning to the championship. He was with us in Hooton, and he did a fantastic job. We've also got Jack Buckley, who is also one of the Irish contingent. I had a chat with him as well. His favourite driver, Sebastian Vettel, who starts from 6th position, I believe, for the Austrian Grand Prix, following a penalty for impeding. But, James, I'm not going to spoil anything else. Look, just stop shaking your head at me. Let me carry on with things. I'm doing the filler, you're doing the camera work. Get on with what you're doing. We agree to disagree there. So at the moment, Oakley-Keatley and Aidan Hassan are leading ahead of Jack Buckley. The young Irishman is charging. Fastest lap at the moment is from Keatley at the moment, 52.81, 6 minutes and 57 on the clock to go. Mason Rudman 4th, Jack Sant 5th, Leo Jackson in 6th, George Davison making his IAME Cadet debut this weekend, currently 7th. Charlotte Stanley, who's running high up in the order of the table, is currently in 11th position. AJ Harnell down in 12th and last as the leaders, which now we're going to see some dicey action here, as it's Hassan closing on Keatley. They go up the hill. Buckley in 3rd, Rudman 4th, Sant in 5th. Jackson has just set the fastest lap of the race in the 27. And it is quite literally line astern as Buckley is putting the feelers out on Aidan Hassan. Looks over his left shoulder and sees Mason Rudman for company. But Jack, I think you've got more than just Mason Rudman to worry about, because you've got Jack Sant and Leo Jackson, who again has just gone purple, 51.67 from the number 27. As Rudman is trying to force a move on Buckley for 3rd, going into the final couple of corners and misses out. And all of a sudden, Jack Sant gets past him. Will Jackson follow him? No, not quite yet. But the two leaders starting to break away. It's Oakley-Keatley and Aidan Hassan. 1st and 2nd, they are leading the rest of the field by 1.1 seconds. That gap has just opened up as Hassan takes a look over his left shoulder to see how far Buckley and the rest are behind. And now he knows he's got that opportunity to go for the lead and take a pretty convincing win. But we still have 5 minutes plus an additional lap to decide this first IAME Cadet heat. We have a second one at 24 minutes past 1, and then we have the final, which will be at 15:35. Well, yeah, that looks to be at 15:35 local time. So 4 minutes, 52 seconds on the clock. Oakley-Keatley continues to lead from Aidan Hassan. And they've now pulled a gap to over 1.4 seconds over the rest of the field. Leo Jackson has just done a 51.39, and he's going side by side, wheel to wheel with Mason Rudman for position up the top of the hill, as Buckley cuts off Sant very, very convincingly there up at the top. So Rudman down into 6th position now, which is where he started a little bit earlier on. So Keatley still leads, Hassan 2nd. The gap was just over 2, it was just 2.5 tenths between the pair, as Buckley is keeping Sant at bay. You've then got Jackson ahead of Rudman. So leaders now coming through towards the final couple of corners here at GYG. And Hassan is... now, I spoke with Aidan earlier on this weekend, and he does quite a lot of racing. He races in LGM Birilat as well, which is also covered through Downforce UK and Alpha Live as well. I think there's a round coming up on that very soon, which I think is heading back here. He didn't seem that concerned about the prize money that's on offer for winning the round as he just sets the fastest lap. I'm sorry, Leo Jackson, you've just been beaten by Aiden Hassan by 600ths of a second, the fastest lap in this race. So 51.33 from the O-Plate champion. But Aiden was wanting, he said, I want to score points. And you know what, that's actually a pretty good thing to have. Lotte Draper's shouting out, come on, George. Well, George is currently 9th at the moment. So as Hassan is right on the back bumper of Keithley going up the hill. And he's literally bump drafting up there. And this is allowing Hassan to have a bit more in reserve because Keithley is effectively doing all the work. And when Hassan literally just sort of positions his car right behind as Jack Buckley's now lost out to Jack Sant for 3rd position. What's happened is that Hassan is making the kart do less work. It's taking less out of the engine, less out of the tyres, less fuel is being used, and he's doing it again. So let's go back. Oh, and it's a 3-way scrap. That was very, very dicey. Mason Rudman was trying to go up the inside of Jack Buckley, and also on the outside was Leo Jackson. But now it's Buckley leading that train as the leaders go up the top of the hill, just under 2 minutes plus an additional lap to go. And Buckley is still keeping both Jackson and Rudman at bay, but for how much longer? The number 10 is doing a pretty stern defending job. And they're just about to come up to, I think that might be AJ Arnold. Yeah, looks to be the case. Who's several laps down as Rudman is trying to see what he can do against Jackson, but nothing's happening at the moment. 90 seconds plus an additional lap to go. Leaders still pretty much tied together between Oakley Keatley and also Aiden Hassan. This is the battle for the lead of the race. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd onwards, it's still Jack Sant. Jack Buckley now in 4th, Leo Jackson 5th, Mason Rudman right on his back bumper and has gone side to side and has got the momentum going up the hill. Will he retake 5th from the 27? It's still nip and tuck, but Rudman might have had the inside line there, but Jackson, using his knowledge, just decided, well, I'm going to close that door off, and he just quite literally did, and did it absolutely inch perfect there, did the number 27. So 37 seconds to go, plus an additional lap. And the leaders, I can't tell who is going to win this one. Is it going to be Keithley? Is it going to be Hassan as they come through the final sector? Now down towards the final couple of corners. So 40 seconds plus an additional lap to go here in the first of these IAME Cadet heats here at GYG as the leaders go up. It's again, you can see what Aiden Hassan is doing. He is just biding his time. He's doing this to absolute perfection. He's going up the top of the hill. The kart is doing less work. Keithley is trying to keep him at bay. And Hassan is just trying to carry that momentum through. And he gets to the top of the hill and he thinks, oh, I've got a chance here. And then Oakley Keatley goes, no, you haven't, Aiden, and pulls away from him. As you can see now on the screen, it's about half a kart length. Now Hassan is going to, through the tight and twisty stuff, you can see that Hassan's kart is just that little bit more poised. And through the bumps, I could see that Keithley's kart was a bit more unsettled. Hassan's a bit more smooth and a bit more, hunkered down to the ground as they come around the final corner. It's now the final lap. Now, will Hassan go for it? I tell you what, I think just judging by the gap between himself and Keithley, but look at the battle behind. Oh my goodness me. Mason Rudman just went up the inside of Jack Sant. Oh, and he's got two wheels on the grass. My goodness, trying to get past Joe Jackson. And round the outside of them goes Jack Sant. What? If we can get a replay of that, that is, oh, and we've got one off. We've got one off already. And that's on the last lap. That looks to be that's Oakley Keatley. The lead has gone off. Has he spun off? So that was Oakley Keatley, which means that Aiden Hassan is just a couple of corners away from taking the heat win. I didn't quite see it from my line of sight. So checker flag waves for Aiden Hassan. But what happened to Oakley Keatley? What happened to the number 33? Was there contact? Was there the slightest touch? Because we saw that with Damien Barris-Haggett last time out. So Aiden Hassan takes the win. Oakley-Keighley recovers to 6th position. So Aidan Hassan takes the win. Jack Buckley from Ireland takes 2nd, ahead of Jack Sant, who capitalised on the coming together, if you will, between Leo Jackson and Mason Rudman.